The head of the ETF store, Nate Gerasi, talked about what the XRP+C ETF applications would need to do to get accepted by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Through this fund, which Bitwise and Canary Capital, two asset managers, have tried to give to the commission, institutional buyers will be able to buy XRP. Nate Gerasi told the Thinking Crypto Show that if Donald Trump wins the U.S. presidential election in November, the XRP+ITC's chances of being approved by the U.S. SEC will go down, which is why Trump has promised to make the U.S. a more crypto-friendly place if he wins. Jurassic says that if that happens, the chances of buyers being able to buy these XRPs and other cryptocurrency ETFs will go up. Even though he said that the current government doesn't like crypto, he also warned that just because Donald Trump won the election doesn't mean that these funds will be used. That's why the ETFs are more likely to be approved under a Trump government than under a Kamala Harris administration. He agreed that things might be different if Harris was president, but he said it was very unlikely since she was already vice president. What this means comes after Kamala Harris said she would support Bitcoin, but there was a catch. Her campaign promise was very specific: it would protect black men who own and trade in cryptocurrency. Nate Gerasi also explained why it won't be easy to get the US SEC to accept an XRPF even after Trump's victory. He said that at the moment the CME exchange does not offer XRP futures products. Ethereum and Bitcoin ETFs came into the market because of their own commie futures markets, which could be a problem. The judge's decision in the Grayscale lawsuit says that futures and spot markets are linked. The SEC agreed to allow spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs because both Bitcoin and Ethereum have futures markets and futures ETFs. But it's still not clear if an XRP will be approved because that's not how XRP works. The market expert says that the futures market is not needed. However, the SEC needs a regulatory system in order to change the way it does things. The CC has always worked that way. Also, Gerasi pointed out that the SEC would need to agree to a surveillance sharing agreement in order to accept this fund, which would help stop market manipulation. The trouble is that XRP is trading on markets that are not controlled at all right now. In the same way, the head of the ETF store believes that Congress should create a set of laws that spell out which digital assets are not securities and which ones are the best for the business as a whole. There may be a Trump bias in the cryptocurrency world, but Chris Larsson, co-founder of Ripple, seems to think otherwise. Larsson told them that their support for Kamala Harris is based on how well the vice president understands the innovation economy. Yesterday, a tweet from a Ripple lawyer made fun of the SEC's case against XRP, saying that the officials are not taking reality into account. If you are an attorney named John Deaton, who fought with Ripple against the SEC in the US, please speak up for the 75,000 people who own XRP tokens, including 627 from his home state of Massachusetts. He has something to say about this. Throughout the court case, Destin kept saying how unhappy he was. He then said, "I prosecuted the case using my own money and did everything for free." This was in response to what the SCAC office, which is run by Gary Gensler, the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, did. Deaton also paid for things with his own money, $775,000. Deaton told me about the following in his analysis: whenever I think the SEC could not get any worse, the SEC lawyers proved me wrong. The judge, who was appointed by Obama and had been a Democrat for a long time, I agreed with Denton's points and used some of the facts and briefing he had given the court. The judge's decision that XRP is not a security backs up what Denton said would happen. The lawyer also talked about other times when federal judges' decisions were bad for the Securities and Exchange Commission. One of the SEC lawyers is a liar who will say anything to win a fight. And the lawyers don't really care about the rules either. One of the highest legal standards that must be met is that the SEC was punished by a federal judge in the debt box case for willfully misleading the court and doing other bad things to keep up its illegal business practices. An appeals court also said the SEC had done something arbitrary and irrational. In a recent court decision in support of Senator Elizabeth Warren, the lawyer said that senators on the Banking Committee, which is in charge of reviewing the Securities and Exchange Commission, should be more angry than they were. He did this by talking about his time as a special assistant United States attorney. The lawyer made it sound like he brought up charges of subordinating perjury with less proof than he thinks is available now, when he is up against the SEC Securities and Exchange Commission of the US in court and has a tough case. An international banking company called Ripple, which is based in San Francisco, has filed an appeal of the decision made by Judge Torres on August 7, 2024. The Securities and Exchange Commission is getting ready to review a decision that was good for XRP sales at the same time that Ripple is getting ready to press its claims. The fact that Ripple filed the cross-appeal shows that it wants to protect its own interests and keep XRP's non-security status. The Securities and Exchange Commission filed a complaint against Ripple, the team working on the native cryptocurrency XRP, in December 2020. The complaint said that XRP sales had happened without proper registration, which led to a long legal fight. Investment opportunity Ripple has been fighting against the XRP cryptocurrency being labeled as a security because it wants to make it clear how digital assets are regulated. The company says that because XRP is a currency like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it shouldn't have to follow the rules that apply to stocks. This case has important effects on the Bitcoin industry. Judge Annalisa Torres made history when she agreed with RIP and gave partial summary judgment on XRP sales. This meant that the SEC could not charge as many people as they had originally wanted to. Judge Torres' ruling was somewhat good for Ripple because it limited how bad the SEC's claims were. Because of this, Ripple's sales of XRP to high-net-worth buyers on cryptocurrency exchanges were not an offering of securities. By choosing to challenge Judge Torres' decision, CN Phase is bringing up its claims against Ripple again. The SEC is appealing the judge's decision because XRP sales should be seen as security offers because they could hurt efforts to make open regulatory standards. This plea affects Ripple and the cryptocurrency market as a whole in a big way. Because it filed a cross-appeal, Ripple Labs is taking the initiative to protect its own interests. It won't stop until it supports its points of view and makes sure that its main points aren't lost or weakened. In its cross-appeal, Ripple has responded to some parts of the CC's appeal, which supports its claim that selling XRP does not mean selling SEC goods. The strategic choice made by Ripple shows how important it is that XRP is not a security. This could have big effects on the Bitcoin sector if cross-appeals are made. If Ripple succeeds, XRP may move up in the market, but it might go down if it fails. The outcome of this lawsuit could change how the SEC regulates other cryptocurrencies, which could make regulators pay more attention to the problem. It's not clear what the future holds for digital assets. Another thing is that the result will add to the ongoing discussion on how to regulate cryptocurrencies, which could set rules for what happens next in light of recent events. Ripple has done things to make sure that XRP stays listed as a non-security. The company knows that keeping things the same with XRP's regulations is important for the long-term popularity and competitiveness of the coin. If the ruling is positive, XRP will continue to be a top cryptocurrency. If the ruling is negative, the future of the cryptocurrency will be uncertain. It looks like the SSCC and Bitcoin businesses are always trying to get better weapons. The time of Ripple coin is once again at the center of a fight over a Chicago-based cryptocurrency exchange. Bitnomial has said that the SEC is going too far by asking for more responsibility for its XRP just contract. This case has brought up arguments again about whether XRP should be considered an investment. Bitnomial recently asked for permission to make XRP futures contracts backed by dollars. The SEC became interested in this request soon after, but the Commodities Futures Trading Commission (FTA) is still looking into it. In reaction to this point of view, the government agency told Mile that if it didn't follow through with its registration duties, it might break federal securities laws by giving these contracts to other people. Bitnomial says that WC is going too far when it calls Ripple a trust.